Hello fabulous DIYers, it's Deanna Tabwa here, and in this video I am going to show you how to drape a sleeve. So if you guys are interested in seeing how to create this straight sleeve, let's begin. So here I am working with a block of muslin fabric. This is blocked about 30 inches long and 17 inches wide. So here I'm going to fold this piece in half, and I'm going to create a crease at the center line. There we go. And then I'm going to open it up, and I'm going to take my straight ruler and just draw a straight line just to make sure that it is creased in the center. Then I'm going to take one end of the muslin and fold it in the center, and then fold it within about 2 inches. Like so, as I'm doing it here, pressing it down. And then the other side, I'm going to do the same thing, about 2 inches, fold in, but I'm going to go over the center line and about 1 inch over the other end and place it right on top, because I want that part to be the bottom of my hem sleeve. Here I'm placing a needle at the elbow area where I'm going to be draping, just to hold it in place. And then at the very top will be where I'm going to be creating my armhole. And it should be a tubular type of shape. So here at the top, I'm going to come in not too far out in the edge of the muslin and just create myself a armhole type of shape. I want to be easier when it's time for me to drape. So here we are, and it will look like this. So 3 inches from that armhole area that I created, I'm going to place a pin there, so that way it just holds in position, and I'm going to adjust the other pin as you see me doing it here. So as you can see, it's like a tubular shape. It looks kind of like a sleeve already. Now it's time for me to go ahead and drape it. So we here at the dress form, and at the armhole where I just created this armhole, I'm going to go and place that on the armhole of the dress form on the bodice. I'm going to place it at the armhole seam allowance, and I'm just going to pin that onto the bodice. Make sure the top of your sleeve goes over the shoulder about 1.5 inches, just to give you room for you to drape. And it will look like this. You see how it's already forming the sleeve shape? Well, that's what's going to happen. Now I'm going to pin the armhole shape so that way it can stay in place. Make sure that the axis is a bit above the armhole, so that way you can have room to drape. And I'm going to walk the sleeve along the armhole, and when you're walking the sleeve, just make sure that it falls nicely as it wants to. Don't try to tuck and pull and yank or anything like that. Just follow the sleeve shaping against the armhole. As you see me here, I'm just pinning it and adjusting it, and I'm going to take it at the center part of the armhole on the bodice, and we're going to place a pin there just to secure it. And then you just want to go ahead and just look at it and adjust it. You want to make sure that the sleeve just falls nice and neatly. You see how that looks? It just falls right into place. Now I'm going to do the same thing for the back as well. And the back, I'm just going to walk it as best as I can along the armhole. So you just want to go ahead and ease the fabric towards it, let it fall the way it wants to, and then just place the pin along the armhole. So here I'm pinning things into place and just bringing it up and just trying to ease it all the way up to that armhole marking. And then you just want to pull it again just for it to see how nice and shapely it looks. So right here you can see that the sleeve is starting to form, and all you have to do is start shaping it to make sure it's nice and neat. And we want it to kind of look like a tailor sleeve, so we're just going to go around just to see what's going on. If you see the back not straight enough, just go back again and just readjust and try to naturally get the sleeve to lay the way it wants to. So here you can see that I just rolled in the excess at the sleeve on the shoulder just to pin it into place to fall where it wants to. You see how nice that looks? Here's the front, and I'm just pushing that excess of sleeve into the armhole. I'm going to start shaping, and you can see it forming into an armhole, nice and neat as the way the sleeve is shaping. you just want to go ahead and pin like this. Now at the top you see a lot of access. What we're going to do here is start bunching it in and start folding it inward onto the armhole. Now this part of the sleeve is where we're going to have to gather it up when it's time to sew, just to make sure it shapes nice and round at the arm at the top, so it can fall nicely on the arm. So here I'm just going to bunch it just to get it all fitted and nice and neat. So you just want to take your time and start shaping the top of the armhole just to get the shape of the sleeve. So you don't want to take this all the way down to the armhole seam mark that we created. So you just want to make sure that you keep the bunching at the top of the sleeve and just try to shape it within that area. And just continue to pin until you have the shape of the sleeve start forming. You may have to go back and readjust the pins just to get the shape right. So as you can see that the sleeve is starting to form, it's starting to shape at the armhole, at the top, looking nice, and fall off the shoulder. As you can see, just readjust and pin. And once you're done, it will look just like this. Nice and round. As you can see, the sleeve is going to fall off the shoulder, and that's what it will look like. Now here I'm going to measure how long I want my sleeve to be. I have long arms, but I'm going to measure as long as I want my sleeve to be, and I'm going to fold that inwards at the bottom. Make sure the front is a little bit longer than the back, but other than that, just fold the bottom of the hem of the sleeve inwards or outwards if you want. Here at the elbow area or lower part of the arm, if you want your sleeve to be tightened, you can just, or slim fit, you just go inside where we overlap the fabric over to the back and just try to pull in just a little bit inward just to make the sleeve a little bit more skinnier. At the bottom hem of your sleeve, usually the opening is about 6 inches wide, but depending on the style that you want to make sure that it's wide enough for you to get your arm through it, your hand through it as well. Now here I'm going to mark the armhole sleeve area, and as you can see that the gathers is going to be a little bit tricky, but just try to mark the gathers as best as you can. You want to mark where the sleeves meet at the center armhole of that armhole, marking, and mark there. And I will also mark the beginning of the gather, so that way you know where to start the gathers and where to end the gather. So you want to put a marking there at the front of the gathering part and where it ends as well. Then mark the whole entire gathered area and bring that all the way down by the armhole. So here you can see that there's a little bit of excess of fabric overlapping the armhole, so just go inside the armhole as best as you can just to try to copy as close as that armhole is on the bodice. You want to copy the whole entire armhole and sleeve where it meets underneath as well in the pit area. So here I'm just continue to mark the front portion of the sleeve as well, all the way down to the lower part of the armhole. And it will look like this, and your sleeve is fully done and draped. So if you guys like this video, let me know down in the comment section. You can give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye guys.